I was thinking of, when you
can say
guys...
your name first.
Oh, yes, my name... Yes, very important. My name is Jeff Park. Jeff, Park as in Central Park. And I interviewed Anita. And to be honest with you, to be part of this experience, to listen to her courageous and heartwarming story, and to have the opportunity to sit here and listen to your experiences, it's an honor for me. And it's one of the greatest moments of my life. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank Anita before I start. When she was talking to me, there was one quote that just kept on popping into my head. And the quote is, "The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something. Because the brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough." So what I decided to do was, it's time for me to apply this quote to her story and to my story to tell you what brick walls are. So before we start with the story, I want to tell you who actually said this quote. His name was Randy Pausch, and he was a distinguished professor from Carnegie Mellon. And in Carnegie Mellon, there is a series called The Last Lecture. A lecture professor would give if he knew he was going to die. And ironically, he was diagnosed with cancer. So about 6 months before he died, he gave this last lecture. And it's one of the most world-renowned lectures in the world. So if you have a chance to go on to YouTube or get the book, please read it. It's very inspirational, and it will keep you through your life as well. So let's start. Brick walls are there to show how badly you want something. We all come across brick walls throughout our lives. But how many times have you guys scaled it? Think about that. How many times have we just stopped and given up? Think about these questions as I share her story with you. Hitler marched into Austria March 13th, 1948. 38, yes, typo. And it was the end of Anita's childhood. Before that day, she lived an extraordinary childhood. Her family, her friends. She used to vacation in the countryside. She used to live in an apartment. It's a typical childhood. But on that day, within that 24 hours, Jews were non-existent. So here comes the first brick wall. Remember, brick walls are there to show you how much you want something. So what would you do if you're Anita's mother at that point? How scared and how worried are you if about your family's safety after your daughter witnessed something like scrubbing graffiti off the floor while everyone's cursing at you? Remember, brick walls are there to show you how badly you want something. And that something was the safety of her children. Anita, her sister, her brother was already in France. He joined the French Foreign Legion, and to hide from one place to another, Anita's mother decided to send her daughters off to safety. Listen, we read our textbooks, obviously. We took history courses throughout high school. I haven't heard of something called the Kindertransport in my life. This is the first time I've heard, and I want to thank Anita for it. It opened my eyes to something different. And I'll give you a background information about Kindertransport. The English Parliament sponsored a program called the Kindertransport, and in which it's an unspecified number of Jewish children under the age of 17 were to be transported to England from Nazi persecution. But there's one catch. They have to go alone without their parents. Brick walls are there brick walls are there to show you how much you want something. Can you imagine that decision that Anita's mother has to make? That brick wall right in front of her face for that safety for her children. Can you imagine that? She told me how her aunt and her mother used to argue, how her aunt used to call Anita's mother a bad mother because she was going to send her children off to safety to England. How could you do that? Sadly, her aunt and her children, they all perished. After hearing that, my first intuition, when I left, the first thing that I did was I called my mom on my cell phone, and I told her I love her. She said, this is the first time I've ever heard that from your voice. Why are you saying it? And I told my mom, just because. I love you, just because. Now, for 4 agonizing hours, she had to sit inside a train, her mother on the outside, not knowing that if she's ever going to see her family ever again. Remember, brick walls are there to show us how badly we want something. Just keep that in mind. Her story, she went to England, and in England, you know, she met her future husband as well. But there are 2 stories that I want to share with you, which I can't stop help laughing, but when I see tea and when I see jam. And I'll tell you the story. First with tea. She was telling me how she used to work at an aircraft factory where they, manufacture airplanes. And at 11 o'clock, there's this British tradition of having tea time. So people would stop what they're doing and drink their tea. Yes, I have my pinky up too. Drink their tea. And she'll be working in the factory, the machines will be running, and as soon as 11 o'clock hits, everyone would stop their doing, drink their tea, and the machines will still keep on going. And I thought that was amazing. And she said, oh, I have to do what they did because they would think that I was an enemy. And that's, whenever I drink tea, I will always remember that. Second story was she was telling me a story about how after the Luftwaffe, the German Luftwaffe, they bombed a jam factory, and her husband was knee-deep with jam searching for bodies. These stories sticks with you, and hopefully it will stick with, it's stuck with me, hopefully it will stick with you as well. Now, I know we're kind of short on time, but I want to tell you the second brick wall real quickly. Remember, brick walls are there to show us how badly we want something. When her mother was going to be deported to Auschwitz, she was hiding in Hungary with her father. She decided to jump into a ditch. Here's the second brick wall now. She knew she was going to die if she went to Auschwitz, and if she was caught jumping into the ditch, she knew she was going to die. Survival wasn't the only reason. It was her children. She wanted to had the possibility of seeing them. She learned many things. Even though she was away from safety, she knew many things of what was happening on in Europe. From the newsreels that the US, the Russians, and the British gave. Learning about the Holocaust for the first time in a movie theater, seeing those newsreels of the dead bodies, hoping and praying that it's not one of her family members, it's not her parents. Receiving that Red Cross letter, afraid to open it because it will tell you, oh, your parents will perish. But luckily it did not happen. She got to see her parents, she got to see her brother, she got to see her sister. Now, before I go to the last brick, I'll tell you about the last brick, I just wanted to give you a quick reflection of myself. First off, obviously, I called my mom, I told you guys that story. But when she told me her story, and she told me something about guilt and conscience, how she was so lucky when she heard different stories from her peers, I thought about my own grandparents. Now, I don't have any more grandparents because they all passed away, and they lived during the Japanese occupation in Korea. And I've never asked them how it felt. What are your stories? What gave you your strength, the will to survive? I've never asked them. And you know what? When they're gone, and I will never will, and it's lost in history. And that's something I regret to this day. My mom and dad, they lived through the Korean War. So what I did was, as soon as I went home, I asked my mom, hey mom, tell me about the Korean War. What did you go through? She asked me why. I told my parents, my mom and dad, because I want to share the story with my future kids one day. To tell us where we came from. To tell us, and not only to tell us, my kids, but tell the world. And maybe I'll find, within those stories, maybe I'll find a reason why I was really stubborn, but that's hopefully. And my girlfriend will be happy about that, by the way. But lastly, I just want to say that, Anita, you're an inspiration not only to me, not only to your peers, but to the world. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm going to tell you the last brick wall, and it's for you guys. Remember, brick walls are there to show us how badly we want something. Can you guess what the last brick wall is? I'll give you guys a hint. Go to the wall next to the restrooms, and it's inscribed in quotes. Read it. That's your brick wall. Thank you.